Hi, hello, my name is Christian Karchansky. In this video, I'll show you an example of finding the limit of a sequence. Not too easy, but not too difficult either. An example, you could say, authentic, which students actually worked on at the University of Mumbai in the fall of 2019. To help us solve the example, we'll ask our mathematical friend Kiwi for assistance. So let's get started. Let's take a look at this example. What we have to do. I've chosen this first example here. Here it is. In the middle, we have mysterious 3 dots, which means it's not a finite sum. By increasing n, which is the index of the sequence terms, we add more terms. Regarding limits in general, including the method called the squeeze theorem, or the sandwich theorem, or many other names it has, I won't show you the fundamentals here because I covered it in my limits course. And there I explain exactly how it works with limits and show that method from the very beginning. Here, I'll only focus on solving this example. If anything is unclear, I invite you to my course. Let's start. We'll apply the squeeze theorem, sandwich theorem. In the squeeze theorem, you need to take the sequence whose limit we want to calculate. Here it is. I'm not writing the limit here. The sequence itself, without the limit, so there's no lines here. And this sequence needs to be bounded above by some sequence, bounded below by some sequence, and we need to show that the sequence above and the sequence below both converge to the same number, to the same limit. Intuitively, we feel that if something bounds from above and converges to something, and something bounds from below and converges to the same thing, then the thing in the middle will also converge to that. I discussed this in detail in my course. I invite you there. And now I am going to get straight to the bounds. How to bound it from above. So we are looking for something, some sequence, that will undoubtedly be larger than this. It had larger terms. Each of its terms will be larger than the corresponding term of this one. So we are looking for something bigger. It's going to be something like this. Look. Each component of this sum is undoubtedly smaller than this. Than the one on the right. And the one on the right is bigger. Why? Someone might ask, well, how can that be? The numerators are the same, after all, but the denominators are larger here. Here on the left, they are larger. Here, the denominators are smaller. Definitely. Here it's plus 1, plus 2. Here it's actually plus 0 everywhere. It's just n squared. Why would this be bigger? Because each component here has a smaller denominator. And when the denominator is smaller, the whole number is larger. Look, 1/2 is greater than 1/3. Or 1/3 is greater than 1/10. The larger the denominator, the smaller the whole fraction. Therefore, these here have smaller denominators, meaning each of these fractions is larger than its corresponding one here. So without a doubt, since each fraction is larger, the whole sum is also larger. What can we use to bound it from below? Following the same line of reasoning, we'll increase the denominators here. Without a doubt, here on the left, each denominator, n squared plus n squared plus n is greater than or equal to, in the last one it's equal, but greater than or equal to the corresponding denominator in these fractions, because n is the term number of the sequence. The term number of the sequence can be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And here it ends at n, so n here is the largest component that is reached. So here each fraction has a larger denominator, which means each fraction is smaller. So without a doubt, this is smaller than that. So we have bounded this sequence from above by this sequence and from below by that sequence. Now we just need to calculate the limit of the top, the limit of the bottom and show that they are equal. Alright, let's go. The limit of the top, this. The common denominator is definitely there, so it will be like this, n plus n plus n plus n times, because here it is n times, this n repeats itself on top. So it's n times n. And we won't even need to bring in Kiwi for this, right? N times n is n squared divided by n squared is just 1. Easy, easy. From below, the limit is like this, common denominator like this, n plus n times, so it's n times n, and here, although it's not a difficult limit, we'll ask our Kiwi for help. Let's go. Kiwi to the rescue. There was a limit like this. In the numerator it was n times n, and in the denominator n squared plus n. Such a limit to calculate. At the top, n times n is obviously n squared, right Kiwi? We are right, because Kiwi is giving us the green light. So, the factoring method, I assume you are already familiar with it. I also cover it in my course. There's nothing to factor out at the top, but at the bottom I factor out n squared. Agreed, Kiwi. Agreed. N squared and n squared cancel out. I'm going to make a mistake on purpose, okay? Instead of cancelling 1 over n, I'll cancel it to 1, making a mistake in the process, but let's give Kiwi a chance to shine, he's bored. Try again, or let me help. Help me, Kiwi. Where did I make a mistake? Give me a moment, I need to think. Think away, old man, think, no problem. And Kiwi told us here how it should be. 1 plus 1 over n. 1 over 1 plus 1 over n it should be. Not 1 over 1 plus 1. So I'm correcting it. As you said, Kiwi, this should be 1 over n, right? Was it supposed to be like that? It is. N approaches infinity. 1 over n approaches 0 for reasons I explained in the course. So we are left with 1 over 1, which is 1. And there it is, the limit is calculated. Thanks, Kiwi. Bye. I'm entering this result. And now, a very important part of the task in the squeeze theorem is to write the answer at the very end. Right now, you don't have an answer. Your task was to calculate the limit of this sequence, and you calculated some other one and some other one. You have to clearly tell the professor that you know what this game is about, right? And write the answer. Refer to something, and you refer to the squeeze theorem. This limit of the sequence, the one you were supposed to calculate, equals 1. And now everything is clear. By the squeeze theorem or by virtue of the squeeze theorem, or however you want to phrase it. And that's it. Thank you very much. I invite you to my course. Thanks to Kiwi too.